Good morning from beautiful Arkansas. I know it looks cloudy and it's been a little foggy today, but for me, I still love this weather. Um, this is actually, I was just thinking, I tell this a lot to people. This is my favorite place I've ever lived, and I've moved around a little bit. I grew up in California, lived in North Carolina, Pennsylvania, moved to Southeast Asia, lived in Texas, and Arkansas is actually my favorite place. Um, Now, I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that I actually own land and my quality of life has improved. Probably be a different story if, you could find happiness just about anywhere. It really is. Depends on your situation. If I was working 40 to 50, 60 hours a week, still in the rat race, so to speak, I don't think I'd be too happy living here either. Um, and that's kind of like the topic of was what topic of this video is. Instead of van life to escape that, because that's kind of where their minds go. They're showing up. It's kind of futile, showing up to the same place every day for getting underpaid. It's taking 5, 6 days out of their week to work for some company, and just their quality of life is just not there. You go to work, you come home late, you have dinner, go to the gym, get 2 hours to yourself, and then you go to bed. Is that really how our day should be spent? I don't think so. Um, and because, early on when I was in the midst of all that, I think I was kind of thought of by others as not willing to work, a little lazy, I guess, because I was, I quit my job a few times. I traveled and, took some time off of work because there's more to life than having so little to show for it monetarily. And when there's growth happening. If you find yourself in a situation where you're able to make a lot of money, keep that job. Good, and then you can figure out what your future is later. But if you're in a situation where you're not making money and it's taking all your time, instead of just selling everything you own and living in a van, because after a while, that's gonna get pretty lonely. I traveled for a bit. I lived in this truck, even had a camper shell on it with a bed in the back. It's kind of depressing. Everyone you ever know is just kind of temporary. You're just kind of doing what you want to make you happy. But this is fulfilling. I mean, you're literally setting roots. You're growing things and you're setting yourself up for the future, because we're all going to get older, and you hear stories of people who just live this vagabond lifestyle, rock climb during the summer, they're ski instructor in the winter, and they're living in their car. A lot of those people end up committing suicide because, yeah, generally speaking, it's probably a better existence than, working in some company that just is soul crushing day in and day out when you show up to work. It's better than that, but, it's not setting you up to have a family, to have children, get married and all that. No one, how many people want to hitch up with you if you're living in your vehicle? So, but yeah, homesteading. What I've gained the respect of my neighbors here because I'm a hard worker, even though probably a lot of my life, because I was not wanting to, just I would take my time for myself to make sure I and still enjoyed my life, even in the midst of working those bad jobs where they're taking up all your time. I was probably accused of being lazy or not motivated to make money or to work. But I've gained the respect of my neighbors here because I actually do work hard. It's a little bit different when you work for yourself. Like, I can work hard. I just loaded up this bed of mulch here by my hand. There's they have like someone that will do it for you, but they weren't there able to do it today, so I just loaded it with a pitchfork, and it took me about 30 minutes. Goats over there. And I'm about to put it in my garden and actually do a lot of my gardening prep work here in the winter. Getting the raised beds restocked, like cow manure and mulch and all that. So, but yeah, your work will pay off on a homestead, and you don't have to have a ton of money in some situations to get started. They have owner finance. This wasn't owner finance when we first got it, and the payment was not that much. Thankfully, we were able to get it paid off before that. But anyway, it's just I think this is where if you're working hard but you're not getting paid for what you're worth, like when I worked, it didn't really matter like how smart I was, how good I was at what I did. I feel like I could never really just acquire resources to say that I'm like well off. And as I was getting older, I started to lose confidence in myself as a man, and that's not a good place to be. 35 years old, not having confidence. You should be almost because you should be physically, and mentally almost as sharp as you're going to be. I'm older now. I'm not as physically fit as I used to be, but with wisdom and hard work, you can still accomplish a lot. And here I have the opportunity to get ahead. Just this past year, the fence I built was probably $15,000. This garden, I mean, I know what's in that. That's cedar. It's the best material to make a garden out of. My raised beds are cedar. Cedar post stain. It's beautiful. It's cool. That's $10,000 probably. Have at least have someone come and make that for me. So I'm putting all this equity into things, even though it doesn't cost me a lot to make it. The fence, $15,000 of equity put into the property, cost me about $2,000 to make. This less than that. That carport, that was about $800 for me to make. Again, sometimes doesn't mean all of this is like I have opportunities because I'm getting blessed by other people are helping me out. I got some of the materials in this for free, the tractors for free and all that. So not everyone has that situation. Yeah, sometimes in life we need help to get where we're at, but I think people are more willing to help you out when they actually see that you're working hard and you're striving for something than just living in a van, going from place to place, sightseeing or whatever it is that you're doing, rock climbing. That's what I would have been doing. So yeah, if I were to sell this property tomorrow, I would turn a really good profit. I've put a lot of work into it. I'm not going to sell it, but I'm just talking about opportunities to get ahead. If that's what you wanted to do, you wanted to buy something, kind of, make it look nice and flip it. This is a way to do it where your hard work will actually pay dividends, sometimes than working as an employee for someone else. Like I said, this is not for everyone. If you're an employee for someone, you're making good money and you live in California or New York, wherever, and you have a good quality of life, then stick it out. You know what I mean? But there's tons of other places in the United States besides those highly sought after places. California and Florida, wherever. Even Texas. I loved living in Texas, but it's just more expensive. And if you have the resources to make it there, then stick it out. But if you don't, there's parts in this country where you can get land for cheap, and if you're willing to work hard, it can happen for you. And it's happening for me. It's not there yet. There's that empty space is where the house is going to be, and I even have dreams of having another house, and that's plot over there. So I have two houses on the property, like a guest house, and that's kind of going to be like our starter home, and then a bigger house over there. And I don't know all the steps it's going to take for me to get there, but I have confidence now knowing that I'll figure it out. And one day I'll be out here on my back porch with a view that I haven't cleared out yet, and I'm going to be drinking sweet tea and kicking back and looking on everything that I've accomplished, and knowing this is my land, and I'm gonna feel more fulfilled than ever. I do appreciate the journey it's been taking for me to get here, because like I said, I know where this place was a year ago. 2 years ago, it was really nothing, and now it's just so much more beautiful and livable, functional. It's just it's things that make my life a lot better. Getting those solar panels up there, having water running through that RV, being able to take a hot shower. Yeah, I mean, it's not for me. It's like super comfortable, but Amy and I, we have dogs, and we need something bigger than that. So this is not long term; it's temporary. But yeah, hopefully this is encouraging. If you're willing to work hard, find a way to get some land and keep working hard. I'm older now, and I'm not in my peak shape, like I said, but you have to just go at a different pace, and sometimes my pace is probably more vicious than it was years ago, and I feel it more, but I'm just really committed to getting this thing, getting the groundwork for a house so we can be out here full time. That's what drives me. So, okay. I think that's probably enough of me talking for today. So I got some work to do. I'm gonna take care of that mulch. Planted some grapes recently. I got a free persimmon tree. I was at this nursery, and I go to the same. It's like a family-run nursery out in Northwest Arkansas, and I love those people. They're so cool. Like, they answer all my questions. Just like they love educating, their customers. So I always like to support them. And he spent so much time with me. I gave him a good tip. 'Cause I believe in tipping people, other than the people that walk to your table 3 or 4 times to just hand you food. And you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, if you go out, yeah, give them tips. But sometimes we don't even think about the people who are really providing services for us. And I like to take care of people like that. So I gave him a good tip, because he was hooking me up with some grapes that I just planted. And he gave me a persimmon tree after I gave him. I didn't expect it. Part of me wants, I should have went back and given him more money for it, because I value what he does, and I want them to stay in business. So yeah, take care of other people that, beyond just people you normally expect. So these are some of my grapes. I trimmed them up, just planted them. Some of these are more established, but I'm just trying to figure out how to get these guys to grow upward, but I got some good tips for that. So that's what this looks like right now. Probably still do some more cleaning up in here. But yeah, I got some work to do today, so I'll get to that, and y'all have a blessed day.